record. And so we started from a very strong foundation and a very strong base when it comes to job creation in the first 6 months of this government, and it's come off a little bit when we're talking about January this year. Now, the outcome today was completely consistent with what the budget anticipated in October and also what my predecessor's budget anticipated in March as well. We have been expecting an uptick in the unemployment rate as the economy slows a bit, as the obvious consequence of a slowing global economy mixed with the impact of interest rate rises here in our own economy. So this is the expected outcome, the expected consequence of global turbulence and rising interest rates playing out in our economy. And our current expectation, the expectation of the Treasury and the Reserve Bank, is that our economy will slow a bit more and unemployment will tick up a bit more in the coming months. Now, inflation is the biggest threat to our economy, and dealing with it is the government's highest priority. And we've made that clear on multiple occasions. And our three-point plan, as you know, is relief, repair and restraint, cost of living relief, where we can do that without adding to inflation, repair of our supply chains, including our workforce, because broken supply chains and labour shortages have been a big part of the story, as the Governor said, when it comes to inflation in our economy, and spending restraint as well in a responsible budget. We saw a lot of that in October. Now, these three things, relief, repair and restraint, were guiding features of the budget in October, and they'll be the guiding features of the budget in May as well. And that's because it's the right strategy. In an economy where inflation is expected to have peaked, but will be higher than we'd like for longer than we'd like, the government's strategy is the right one. And this was a point made yesterday by Governor Lowe, presenting his evidence and taking questions here in front of the Parliamentary Committee. And I think the Governor yesterday made four really important points. First of all, our budget is broadly neutral. It's not adding to, in his estimation, the inflation pressures in our economy. Secondly, fiscal and monetary policy are not working at cross purposes. You will hear this alleged from time to time by people who have other motivations, but the Governor feels like fiscal policy and monetary policy are broadly aligned. Thirdly, he pointed out that most of the upward revision in revenue is being allowed to flow through to the budget. That's an important part of our strategy. In October, 99% of that revenue upgrade for the 2 years where inflation is the most acute being allowed to flow through to the budget, 92% over the course of the forward estimates, and the Governor pointed to that yesterday as an important feature of our policy. And then lastly, he made the point that our energy package is taking some of the pressure off inflation, and that's what it's designed to do. Our energy package is all about taking some of the sting out of these high energy prices, which are a big part of the inflation challenge in our economy. Governor Lowe acknowledged yesterday that our energy plan is one of the key reasons why we are able to take a little bit of the edge off this inflation challenge in our economy. Now, there are some key elements of our economic plan before the Parliament right now. We already saw at the end of last year the opposition vote against a bit of relief for families and pensioners and small businesses when it comes to their energy bills. They've learned absolutely nothing from the diabolical decision that they took in December, and now they're shaping up to oppose us on safeguards, housing fund and the National Reconstruction Fund as well. And I think we do need to shine a light on the fact that in voting against manufacturing jobs and fixing our supply chains, and voting against more affordable homes for more people, and voting against some energy bill relief, the opposition is voting for even higher inflation for even longer. That is the inescapable conclusion from the way that the opposition is playing politics with the government's economic plan. It has been acknowledged that key elements of our economic plan are the best way to go about dealing with this inflation challenge in our economy. When the opposition votes against the government's economic plan, they're voting for higher inflation for longer. Now, before I take your questions, I just wanted to say something just very briefly. Our hearts go out to the families and the workers and the community of Cloncurry in northwest Queensland as they seek to locate these two miners that have gone missing, Dylan and Trevor. I know that this will be a really difficult time, and I know that that is a really wonderful town, a really terrific part of Australia, a really wonderful community. I know that they will be doing it tough right now as the search continues, and our hearts go out to them.